Greetings, beloved, and welcome back to another episode of the Crocheting in Agreement podcast. I crochet prayer blankets and shawls for the sick, and I stand in agreement for their complete healing through Jesus Christ. This channel is by Him, for Him, and because of Him. I hope you enjoy. Welcome back. My name is Melissa, and I'm coming to you from the northern Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. Today is Monday, October 21st, and this is episode number 17, Granny Squirrel Drive. Thank you for coming back for another episode, and a big thank you also for all of the new subscribers. I have went from 317 last video up to 336 currently for this video, so a big thank you, and God bless you all. Let me go right into my finished objects. My last episode I was working on a corner to corner as almost always, and this was with the mandala honeydukes, and I will insert the picture here of where I was last time. And now it is complete. Don't ask me. Okay, no, this is the top. Okay, it is it is that looks like it is 56.5 inches long by 41.5 inches wide, and it weighs 1 pound 7.9 ounces. Not as big as I hoped it would be. This was using 4 cakes of mandala baby honeydukes, plus I actually ran out. This is the bottom, so excuse me. I'm showing it upside down, but it doesn't really matter. This right here, this color does not belong with that. This was just some baby bee yarn, also on the edging as well. So I ran out after 4 cakes, so need to do some adjustments on what I can do with what on that. Another finished object is the blanket that I was making for the baby's playpen. Here is where I was last episode. And it is done now. I did not weigh this one because it's not a prayer blanket, not going to be shipped. It's just going in the baby's playpen. There's extra padding. It is 42 by 27, which is good because the playpen is 38 by 26. So 2 inches on each side, half an inch on top and bottom. So, and it is 6 rows of gray, 2 rows of green in the basket weave Bernat blanket, and boy is it heavy. If I would have weighed it, I'm sure it would probably be close to 3 pounds, and it's not that big, but she will really enjoy laying on that. And I took a UFO that was in my tub that I knew needed to be done, an unfinished object for those of you that don't know, something that had been retired but I knew had to be done. So I pulled this out of my tub and went ahead and finished it. I was right around in here, I believe, because I think the stitching actually changed. It's right around in here where I was, no sleeves and no hood, but I put a hood on it, ran out of it's all Hobby Lobby. I'm trying to remember the variegated. I'll put it on the screen. I ran out and had to do the edging in purple. So then I added, of course that's in purple there. Then I added purple along the edge. But yeah, she's worn it a few times. It's a little big. It's probably a size 12 month, and she's 10 months old in 2 days. No, 1 day. Tomorrow she'll be 10 months old. But it fits her pretty good. And then one last small finished object that I just whipped up last night. If you've seen, I just uploaded a video for a Granny Square drive called Squares with Prayers, and I've managed to whip up just 4 so far. I'm working on the 5th one, but yeah, those were in the other. These will be they were in the other video. These will be used for a blanket one day once I get a bunch and hopefully get some donations. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I'll put it right there. Okay, those are all of my finished objects. Now I will move on to my works in progress. And last week I had started, well, I had gotten a little ways into the Mandala Baby Wishing Well blanket using the V-stitch and the single crochet. And this is where I was last week in this blanket. And this is how far I've come. I was probably right around here. I was still in the brown. This blanket is 38 inches wide from here to here, and I am almost done with the first cake, and it gave me 14 inches from here to here. So I figured up that with 3 more cakes, if I can get 14 inches out of each cake, it will wind up being 56 inches long, which is good. That's good. I'd like to see that happen. And look how pretty it is. Those blue flecks that were in it are still going through all the other colors too. It's really nice. And okay, that is all of the whips that I had last video. I have a couple new whips I have started. I'm going to start with this one. This one has a story behind it. Not all of my prayer blankets have stories. This one also has a name. But I was just simply walking down the hallway one day. I look at my yarn when I walk past it. My last video, you would see that I was filming in front of my yarn stash. This is just my backdrop here. This is where I like to film, but I thought I would, last time I filmed in front of my stash, and I was just walking past it one day, and I looked up at some of the new yarn that I had donated recently from Teresa in California, and I happened to look up, and I seen these 3 colors were in the tub side by side. I just, I look at my yarn every time I go past it anyways, but as soon as I looked at those 3, the Lord spoke to me and said, chevron. So, I mean, that's how the Lord speaks to you sometimes. You might just get one word, or you might just, for me personally, might just get a whole download of words, a big sentence, a big paragraph, and you just kind of read them all out together. But chevron is what the Lord spoke to me. So about 2 days later, I took out those 3 skeins of yarn, which are just, they were cheap. The Kmart brand, I've forgotten. Sale, that's what they are. But I took those 3 colors and I started doing a chevron. And actually, my chevrons, I'm still working. I'm not very good at chevrons. My chevron is more like a ripple or a, what's the other word? A wave stitch or a ripple. But I started working on those 3 colors, making 2 rows, half double of each, And after I got probably 6 rows into it, around in there, that's when the Lord spoke to me. And it was like 6:30 in the morning. The sun was coming up, or maybe 6:45, somewhere around there. The sun was coming up, and I immediately thought of terrible for me, but the Bible verse, the passage isn't coming to me right now, but I'll put that on the screen. I immediately thought of the the old man may pass away, but the inner man is renewed day by day. And immediately the words renewed daily came to me. And this blanket reminded me of a sunrise. And let me go ahead and show it now that I've spoken enough about it. I'm tugging on the yarn to but here is my chevron, and it is just with the dark orange, the peachy orange, and then like the pink peach. I don't know, you can see the 3 shades I used. And I don't think I have measurements for this, but this is renewed daily. This blanket has a name, and I will have no problem at all getting this to the length that I need it, because I have tons of both. Like I said, I'm not very good. I'm getting better at the chevrons. I've got some ends to weave in, obviously, on this end. But I'm really proud of myself for this one. I got a pretty straight edge on that. Oftentimes, it gets wider. But I've been making sure I keep count as far as the peaks and valleys. Yeah, I mean, I know I have to like skip a stitch at the top in order to make it more of a chevron. Maybe make a shorter stitch at the bottom. I'm doing 3 together, but I love it. It's really pretty. And actually, this yarn isn't too bad to work with. It might be old, it might be, rather on the cheap side, but it's not that bad. I've had worse. But yes, I love it when the Lord does that. Names a blanket. It's a rare thing. It's awesome. Okay. Let me confirm I only have 2 more. No, I have 3 more. Let me show. I'm going to save that one for last because it's not really that good. Okay. From my ice yarn haul, I said that there would be a few things that I would make for myself that I would keep here. I like the way Ella, at No Catchy Name, put it. She called it selfish sewing. Or in this case would be some selfish crocheting. But it's rare that I make anything for myself or for home. So I've decided on 2 different things so far to use with my ice yarn. Okay, so my first selfish crocheting project is the Habitat Cardigan by the Make and Do crew. I actually searched all over for a good sweater that I could use with my macho alpaca with that I got from Ice. So I decided to make this Habitat Cardigan. It's a free pattern, but on makeanddocrew.com, but I went ahead and bought the downloadable PDF so I could print it off and have that handy. I'm really enjoying working with this yarn. I thought it would be scary. Well, it was scary, but I thought it would be just a nightmare. But turns out, I love it. I absolutely love it. And it starts off, you have to make just a rectangle. I'm going with the extra large. And Yeah, I'm just a few rows in. I haven't worked on it a whole lot, but this is all I've done, and it is already heavy, warm, and soft. I will not be needing a winter jacket this winter. This will be all I'll need. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, 2 packs of this will probably not be enough, and I'll have to order more. And you know what happens when you order from Ice. You can't. I do apologize. I am now filming from my iPad. Got some troubleshooting to do on my phone now. It says it's full. I don't know how. 2 more. Yes. 2 more whips. 1 announcement. And then I'll leave you guys alone for another month or so. Okay, another selfish crocheting thing with my ice yarn. I had been watching Mikey at the Crochet Crowd doing the Flora Afghan that has been going since May, I believe. I'm not participating in the cow, but I love the blanket. He's an absolute genius. So I decided to use some of the colors I got from Ice, plus a couple that I have here at home. I'm using 5 colors. I think he uses 3. But I have started, I have done the chrysanthemum. It calls for 3 of these. So, here's the chrysanthemum squares. These are 14 inches. This is going to be a gorgeous blanket. This will be for us, because the only blanket I have is the one I made a long time ago that is just boring. And I've also made the flower clock. This calls for 2 of these. So 1, 2. The ends are not woven in yet, but there's the back. Yeah, the flower clock, I've done those 2. Need to be blocked. And I have started on the hydrangea. And I did not put a stitch marker in it, but just started that one. Love the texture in these squares. And a last and very least little thing I'm just working on. I wanted to wait until after revival before I start doing this, but I've decided to pick up knitting and just give it a shot. I actually seen a video recently of just someone, there was no sound other than whatever was going on in the background, no talking, whatever. It was just watch me knit kind of thing, and it was a soothing thing to watch. So I thought, yeah, that looks so easy. Well, why can't I do that? So I grabbed a Caron Big Cake and just, it looks terrible. Dropped a stitch there. Yeah, I didn't notice it until I was actually getting this ready to be filmed. No, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's a mess. Never mind. I'm thinking out loud right now. It looks like that's a lot bigger than the rest. Isn't that lovely? Just a big mess. But that's how you learn, practicing. And one final thing before I let you guys go. If you haven't, I think I've already mentioned it again, but I'm going to mention it one more time. I just uploaded a video for a granny square drive. If anyone out there is capable of just simply whipping up a couple granny squares and sending them my way, I would very much appreciate it. The prayer blanket ministry is at a great need for blankets right now. And the Lord led me to do this, so I have a feeling it's going to be a really big outcome on this, and there's going to be a lot of people blessed, and I can't wait to see all the diversity that goes into it, because like I said, I showed the squares that I made. It's hard to say what other kinds of designs and colors and stitches that will come in. I'm looking forward to seeing it, So if you guys would just give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Share it with others that may not know about my channel. And I will see you guys next video. God bless you all. Goodbye.